How's it going, guys? We're now in Season 9 of my Vegas Golden Knights Franchise Mode series. And if you guys missed the last episode, Season 8 was our best season yet by far. I'll simply kind of go through the awards really quick to show you guys. We won the Stanley Cup, the President's Trophy, the AHL team won the Calder Cup, as well as their version of the President's Trophy. So we had a great season. It's going to be very tough to duplicate that this year, especially as we traded for Patrick Kane, then we lost him. We lost Ryan Strome due to not having enough cap, but I think our team is still pretty good, should make the playoffs, and then I guess anything can happen. As you can see here, NHL team, 94 offense, and 95 defense, 92 goaltending. AHL team there, 85 offense, 86 defense, and 80 goaltending. So I'll give you guys a quick look at the lines, show you the owner goals for this year, then probably start simming. I know last episode I was talking about possibly trading a defenseman, but I think I'm just going to hold off and see how we do it first before I make any trades. So NHL team here, Benson, Barzal, and Nylander on the first line. Barzal destroyed the playoffs last year. He had something like 23 points, 21 games, something around there, and somehow he went down in overall. I still don't understand that. Second line here, we have Seabrook, Crosby, who's now an 86. He's 37 years old. I really expected him to retire, but he's still hanging around. He's only got 1 year left on his deal, so I think I'm just going to see it out, and hopefully he doesn't drop too much more, as I doubt it'll really be worth trading him. Kyle Connor there, second line left wing. Third line here, we have Klein, Draisaitl, and Poirier. And then fourth line, we have DeMeo, Laflemme, and Salio. Defense here, we have Olas, Absolute Beast, Ceci, Dumba, Graham, Vandenbush, and Peros. In goal still, we have Korpisalo with Saros backing him up. AHL team here, we have Blake, Apostopoulos as our first line center. This guy we just drafted too, 2024 fifth round pick, already the first line center in the AHL. Looking forward to see kind of how he does this season. Bembridge there, first line right wing. Zubov, Genesu, Robbie Show on the second line. A bunch of new players that I'm pretty sure are all made up, so I'm probably not going to have a good time with the names. Connolly, Dykes, and Malikov on the third line, then Bird, Grimet Morris, and Heward on the fourth line. So AHL forward group looks very solid. Same with the defense. We have this Sanfasson guy who we signed a couple years ago. For whatever reason, he has AHL potential, but since we've had him, he's been like an 83, so I figure he's the perfect AHL defenseman, and if we trade away an NHL defenseman, he'll probably be the first guy that gets called up, but as he can't go through waivers without getting claimed, he's kind of stuck in the AHL for now. Paired up with him there, I have Chubasov, another pretty solid defenseman, CU, Hamuse, Garcia, and then Lilja. And as you guys can see, most of these guys are really young, so they're hopefully just going to keep getting better playing in the AHL. Starter goalie there, we have Hallinan backing him up, Cahill. So AHL goalies could be a bit better, but there's nothing available in free agency, so basically just have to hope a couple of our goalie draft picks turn into something. Again, though, it's the AHL team, so it's not a huge deal. I'm never going to trade for an AHL goalie. Owner goals, like I was saying, we are still considered a contender, as we did have an amazing season last year. So primary goal, win the Stanley Cup. I have yet to win the Stanley Cup when that's been the goal, as I think it's almost a jinx, I think, having that as your primary goal. Secondary goals there, win the regular season home opener, so that's basically 50-50, and then defend home ice and get at least 29 wins this year. So I don't know about the Stanley Cup, but I think the other two goals are definitely doable. Like I was saying, the one's kind of a coin flip, but I think the 29 home wins, if we have another solid season, usually you have a lot more home wins, so we should be able to get that done. I'll start simming here. Hopefully we have a pretty easy first game matchup, can get that one owner goal, give us a bit of extra money, help upgrade stuff, and hopefully keep the fan happiness up, win games, and see if we can have back-to-back Stanley Cups. So I just finished simming through the first month here. We have a 6-5 record. We did win our first home game, so we got that extra 15K. AHL team there's 2-3-1, so I'm not sure why they're kind of having a rough start. Fan happiness, though, is pretty solid there, 81. Same with the locker room chemistry. So we'll sim another month here before we decide if we're going to make any changes. So now at the end of November, we have a 12-11 record. AHL team 11-5-1. Kind of look at their month here. So yeah, they just absolutely killed it. That's good to see. NHL team is doing okay. Obviously, I'd like to see them doing better. We have had some injuries where players were kind of going down for 5 to 10 days and coming back, which might have affected it a little bit, but no serious injuries so far. Knock on wood. So I think I might just sim another month here until the end of December. Give us a bit better of an idea after 3 months kind of where we're going to be at, and kind of see if maybe I need to make a trade. But right now, I really don't think it's worth doing. So I just finished simming through the month of December. We had a great month. As you can see, we're now 25-14-1. I think we only had 3 regulation losses all month there, and 1 shootout loss. The rest was all wins. Obviously, records are a lot better now. AHL teams also killing it, 21-7-1. Fan happiness is a bit low. I think I need to upgrade some stuff, so I'll upgrade whatever I can if we have enough finances. Locker room chemistry there, 81. figure we take a look here and see where we are in the division. Definitely not going to make any moves right now. I think we're playing pretty good hockey. Don't want to mess with that. 51 points, tied for second, 1 point behind Calgary. Also, I remembered when I was simming December, somebody was asking how good Thatcher Demko is now. So I figured I would show that for you guys really quickly. Obviously, I think Vancouver had a really good year last year, so they finally kind of got their rebuild turned around. Thatcher Demko, probably a big part of that. So let's just go look at goalies here. 90 overall, so he turns out very good. 29 years old, 90 overall. Yeah, that's one of the better young goalies in the game. Probably him, Gibson, Korpisalo, kind of the guys you want to build your team with if you're a rebuilding team. So now at the trade deadline in January, we're still playing really well. 32-16-2 record. AHL team there, 29-8-1. They're absolutely killing it. Fan happiness is 62. I actually forgot to repair whatever I could. So I just did that now. Hopefully that'll fix it. I think like parking lot 1 had 0 out of 100, and parking lot 2 was at like 3, so that's probably why they're upset. I think something else like upper bowl was really low too. Locker room chemistry though is still looking really good, and I think we probably should have a really good spot in the division. We've been playing quite well the last 2 months. So yeah, we're tied with Vancouver there, first place in the Pacific with 66 points. 50 games into this 82-game year, so a little over halfway. Take a look here and see where we are in the entire league, as well as who our leading scorer is. Draisaitl right now is actually the leading scorer there, 36 points. Pretty surprising. I figured it'd be either like Nylander or Barzal, but I guess Draisaitl is having a really good year. So as you can see, we're actually tied with Vancouver right now. Lead league in points with 66. That's going to be a close race, I'm guessing, for not only the division, but possibly the league. Draisaitl is actually now our second-line center as well. I forgot to show you guys that, as he's still an 86 overall. He's 29 years old. He's really good. Crosby, those dropped to an 85. You can see Nylander there, a few points behind him. Same with Barzal. Graham there, 31 points. This guy just scores for some reason as a defensive defenseman. DeMeo, 26. This guy's kind of been bouncing between like the fourth and the first line, as I put him on the fourth line, but whenever someone gets injured, the assistant coach puts him on the first line. And he's got really good shooting stat and really good skating and puck skills, so I guess I'm fine with it. Crosby there, 26 points in 50 games. Like I said, he's now an 85, so hopefully he doesn't go any lower than that before he like retires probably at the end of this year, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. Oles there, 23 is not bad. Poirier, 18. Connor, 18. I wish Connor had a bit better point production than that. Same with Seabrook, 87 overall. I figured he'd be a better player than that. Like, he was really good out of the draft, but just doesn't seem to score well. CC there also at 17. Benson, 14. He's been injured a bit, but he should still be doing better than that, playing mostly on the first line there. Flum there, 14 points. Salio, 13. Vandenbush, 10. Dumba, 8. Perro, 7. Blake, 4. Hamuse, 2. These are just guys that got called up. That Apostolopoulos guy's an 82 now, so he's playing really well. Take a look here at our goalies. Not rookie goalies. Korpisalo, 2.07 goals against. Very, very good goals against. .924 save percentage. Saros, though, even better somehow. 2.04 goals against. They .927. So maybe they play like good matchups for him, play him against the worst teams. Really the only thing that makes sense. Take a look at the AHL goalies now than the AHL players. So Cahill there, 2.13 against. The AHL backup's also better than the AHL starter. It has to be something like they give them the favorable matchups. Otherwise, it just doesn't make sense. And as you guys can see here, Apostolopoulos leading the AHL team in points, 34. He's actually got 4 less games played than everyone else, but averaging a point per game. Bembridge there, 32, which is pretty solid. Heward, 31. Dykes, 31. Janescu, 30. So, I mean, if they're around 30 points in 40 games, you definitely cannot complain. A bunch of other players here contributing pretty good. So, I'm really excited to see what happens with both these teams. Honestly, the NHL team surprised me. I didn't expect them to be doing this good. The AHL team, though, I did expect to be doing good. So, we'll see what happens with them. Also, because we are at the All-Star break, I wanted to take a look here and see which of our players made it. I think it just said, yeah, Korpisalo has been cleared to play against the East. He was injured there for about a week, so that's probably what that's talking about. We'll see if probably Olas made it. It's like the last 2 years straight, it's been Olas and Korpisalo, and there he is, January 24th, representing Las Vegas Golden Knights. We'll see if we got 3 guys. I think I've yet to get 3 guys representing. Korpisalo's name is up there again, and I don't think I see anyone else, so still 2 guys in the All-Star game. We can't complain. We'll sim now the next month at the trade deadline. If we're still doing as good as we are now, I'll try and make something happen. It's going to be really tough, though, as we're really up against the cap. So we're still a couple weeks away from the trade deadline. Nashville's currently offering me Jarnok for Chapman, who I think is a pretty good prospect, and 2 third-round picks, so I doubt I'm going to do this. Jarnok's probably like an 85 at best. 84, 33 years old. I feel like we could get a better player using those assets. So I'm going to say no. For another trade deadline here, we have a record of 39, 21, and 2. So we're continuing to kill it. AHL team 34, 11, and 3. Fan happiness is way up now to an 80. So obviously repairing that stuff helped, along with us continuing to win games. Locker room chemistry 82. I think that's even up by 1 or 2, which is good to see. Currently, where are we in the Pacific Division? 80 points, 2 points behind Vancouver, but we're still right there. I think we have one of the better divisions in hockey, probably. So I'm going to try and make some trades, see what's out there. Like I said, we're right up against the cap. Maybe we'll trade Crosby as part of a deal if somebody will take him, but it's going to be tough to make a trade, but I'm going to do my best. So right here, guys, I'm actually trying to make a trade with Philadelphia for Jakub Voracek. The Flyers had 3 big-name players on the block in Voracek, Shen, and Ghost, but Voracek's the highest rated there, 88 overall, and he has the lowest value. So since we're trying to win now, I figured why not try and get the best player who also happens to be the lowest value. Shen's only an overall below, but he's a couple years younger, that's why he has more value. And then Ghost there is a defenseman, which we don't really need. Our defense is stacked. So have them retaining 50% of Voracek's value, giving them Walensky here. Average defenseman. He's actually on a one-way deal, which I didn't realize, which I'm not a fan of at all. So we've been kind of having his cap count against us more as he's on a one-way deal. Also cost us more money. And I'm also getting them our first-round pick there, which they're interested in. So it looks like a pretty fair deal. Walensky's essentially just there for the roster spot anyway. Now, it says it's going to work with the cap. I'm not sure how that's going to happen. I have a feeling we're going to have to drop people, but if they do say yes, we'll see who we have to drop first. And then if we don't have to drop anyone, I'll probably do it. If we do, make some tweaks. We'll see what they say first. Trade accepted. And we don't have to drop anybody. Okay, so maybe it's because we're like at the trade deadline, something like that, and we got him for 50%, but that's a huge boost to our offense. We gave up a first-round pick, which if we win the Cup, it's the 30th pick. I'm very, very happy with that. Like I was saying, guys, we're right near the cap, so I figured I'd go through all the NHL teams and look for forwards that are already like 85 plus overall, but they're still on entry-level deals. Winnipeg here has this Galvin guy. Pretty solid forward, 20 years old, 85 overall, right-wing sniper, medium top 9 potential, rolls a third line. He might even be second line for us, and obviously the big thing is he's signed to $965,000 for the next 3 years. So not only is he cheap for us to get as a rental player this year, but we'll also have him the next 2 years if he gets better at a very good contract. So obviously that's worth a lot, but his trade value wasn't that high. I'll show you guys what his trade value was kind of compared to like other players. So you can see there, 85 overall, really cheap, but he's like the same as this 26-year-old. So figured I would take advantage of that, try and make a trade for him. So I'm offering them our second-round pick. This Push Karev guy, he's actually a really solid prospect. 20 years old, 68 overall. He was a first-round pick of ours, but I think this Galvin guy is a lot better. Chapman here is a center prospect, but we're pretty deep at the center position, and he'd be like our 5th or 6th best center prospect. And then this Robinson guy, who's 20 and still a 62, he's an enforcer. I don't really care about him, and they want him. So the value's definitely on our side. We'll see if it's enough to get this Galvin guy. If it is, I think that's another huge boost to our forward group to try and repeat here as Stanley Cup champions. Let's see what Winnipeg says. Trade ejected. So let's see if we can add maybe a couple more pieces. We're definitely going to have to overpay, but I think it'll be worth it. All right, guys, so I simply just threw on Detroit's second-round pick. We have 2 second-round picks in this year's draft, but like I said, we're going all in to try and win the Cup back-to-back years. The value is definitely on our side now. Our value's gone up, and theirs has actually shrunk to kind of show just how much drastically the value's on our side. So we'll see now if Winnipeg's okay with this deal, and they are okay with that. So a huge package there, but like I said, we get a cost-controlled, good young player. That's worth a lot, and I think the pieces we sent over was worth kind of the price for him. I'm going to see if we can get another guy like that. Chances are we don't have the assets, or at least the assets would like not make us a Stanley Cup champion anymore. So I'll look around, and if we can do another deal like that, I will definitely try and make that happen. So right here, guys, I'm actually trying to trade away DeMayo for Pittsburgh's 4th-round pick and then this random player. Reason being, he's making $1.5 million. He's going to be scratched as we have 2 players that are better than him on forward, so like he'll be the 14th forward, so he's definitely probably not going to play, even though he's actually had a pretty decent year, making $1.5 million. He's also affecting who I can call up, and I wanted to kind of switch 2 players, so if they say yes to this deal, it'll help me make the lines better. As you can see there, Pittsburgh says yes, which makes sense. Like I said, he had a pretty good year, so I'm going to go and call up the AHL center that's been playing really good. All right, guys, so I was hoping trading away DeMayo there and freeing up his $1.5 million cap space would allow me to call up someone from the AHL. Unfortunately, though, however the cap's working out, we can't call anyone up from the AHL, even if we're like sending 3 guys down. So I just kind of stuck with this NHL roster, I guess, which is fine. It's very good. I was just hoping to make one minor change. So first line now is Voracek, Barzal, Nylander, which I really like. Second line there is Seabrook, Draisaitl, and Benson. Third line, we have Connor, Crosby, and Galvin. He's the guy we traded for. Really looking forward to see how he plays. Fourth line there, Poirier, Laflemme, and Klein. So what I wanted to do was actually send Laflemme down to the AHL. 21-year-old, 82 overall center. His role is a depth forward. I wanted to replace him with Apostolopoulos, who's just been crushing it in the AHL. He's now an 83, one higher, and his role is a third line checking forward. So he kind of be perfect for the fourth line. He's also got better defensive stats, but for whatever reason I can't call him up. It's only one overall, so it's not a big deal. And I don't want to risk trading away more guys to try and make the cap work to allow me to do that. Defense here, of course, has not changed. Goalies haven't changed. We do have a couple scratch players there, and Mukalt, he's the guy who came back for Tomeo. It won't even let me send him down, so I don't really care about him at all. He can stay scratched. And then Salio here, if anyone gets injured during the playoffs or whatever, he'll be the first guy that gets subbed in, so I don't really mind that. AHL team I don't think's changed. They're probably going to have a really deep run as well. So we'll see what happens here. I think we made a lot of good moves. Didn't have to give up too much. Those first and second round picks have been late picks, and we have had pretty good success finding steals in the later rounds. So we'll see what happens now. I'll also show you guys the rating as it should have gone up. AHL's actually, I think, gone up. 86 offense, and the NHL team here, 95 offense, 95 defense, 92 goaltending. So 20 games left. Let's see what happens. So I just finished simming the rest of the regular season. As you can see there, 54, 25, and 3 record. So another very, very good season. Honestly, I'm pretty surprised. I didn't think we were going to do this good this year. Our centers, we didn't really have a first-line center. We had an 86 or two 86s and an 85. But somehow it happened. I think it's probably due to our really good defense, really good goaltender. AHL team there also played very, very well this year. Fan happiness currently at 75, which isn't too bad considering we have to maintain a bunch of stuff, but no longer have the finances. So we'll see where we are in the division. I'd love to have won the division again. Vancouver, though, had a really good season. We did win the division and the conference there, the 111 points. So back-to-back Western Conference wins. Maybe President's Trophy. We'll take a look here. Voracek there, leading scorer. Most of those points, though, probably came from the Philadelphia Flyers. So 111 points. Was that good enough to win back-to-back President's Trophies? And it was. And Vancouver actually got second. So I knew it was going to be us and them fighting it out for the President's Trophy. Luckily, there we had a 6-point lead. Detroit actually is finally good again. I love seeing that. 103 points there. And they won the Eastern Conference. That'd be pretty cool if we seen them in the Stanley Cup Final. I'm going to take a look here and see who our leading scorers were, as well as kind of see how the players we traded for did. I wish you could see kind of how they did once they were on your team. I don't think you can look at that. I might be wrong, though. Let me just check this here. Yeah, so it just shows the in-season. It doesn't show by team. But Voracek had a really good year, whether it was on our team or not. Good to see. I'm glad, it was worth the trading for. Graham here, I still don't get it. 63 points as a defensive defenseman. Draisaitl there, 62. Barzal, 56. Nylander, 55. He was injured for 5 games. He was injured longer than that, but he actually is injured right now. He should be back sometime during the first round of the playoffs. Crosby there, 46, now an 84. That's rough. Hopefully he doesn't drop any more than that during the playoffs, and then I'm guessing he'll retire after that, but his contract's up, so it doesn't hurt us at all if he doesn't. Olas there, 42 points. Connor, 38. CC, 33. Poirier, 32. Seabrook, 32. Laflemme, 30. Benson, 26. He was injured for about 20 games this year. Salil there, 24. Galvin, 23. Wish he did a bit better. That's the guy you traded for. Surprise, he's a sniper. Thought he'd be scoring more than that. But that's okay. I'm pretty happy with this team. They won the President's Trophy again. I guess I should be really happy with them. Just for whatever reason, it seems like we don't get that much offensive production, so I do think it has to do with the goalie, and I'm looking at Korpisalo's stats now, and it definitely has to do with him in the defense. Averaging 2 goals against throughout the year. That is extremely good. .925 save percentage. Saros there, 2.17 against. .924 save percentage. I'm guessing Korpisalo will get the Vezina and probably the William M. Jennings as well. We'll take a look here at the AHL goalies and the AHL forwards. So Hallen in there, 2.7, not that great, but Cahill, 2.8 or 2.08 against. His stats, the goals against there, are extremely better. His record actually 20-5, 1 overall below, but his stats, I might make him the starter because his stats say he should be the starter. So maybe we'll try that and kind of see what happens. Worst case scenario, the AHL team loses in the first round of the playoffs, but it's not the end of the world by any means. So right here, we'll take a look at the players. Daikus here, 52 points. Apostolopoulos, 52 points. Like I was saying, he should be in the NHL, but cap reasons he can't be. Benbridge, 50. What's his name? Jensu, 49. Probably end up with 50. Same with Heward here. They still have 3 games to go. Malikov might be able to push it if he has a really good last 3 games of the year. Grimace Morris there. Robbie Shue, Blake, McCallick, all 30+. So really happy again with both teams. I bet you the AHL team's probably in the running for the AHL version of the President's Trophy. I'll take a look here and see where they are in the division. So first place in their division, 91 points. They've already secured their division. take a look where they are in the entire league and see whether or not they can possibly win the whole thing again, because that would be pretty crazy if both of our teams win the President's Trophies back-to-back years. So 91 points, but it's on win percentage. So I honestly don't know. So I guess maybe we'll save it till the playoffs are over. We'll check. They have 3 games left. It's on win percentage. Maybe they can make it happen. As you guys can see here, we actually failed our owner goal of getting at least 29 home wins, which seems pretty ridiculous because that would be, let's say you have the same amount of home wins as away wins. That'd be averaging like 60 win season, 120 points, which is just like, that's a ridiculous ask. We got the President's Trophy and we failed our owner goals. So I don't know, some of these owner goals seem a bit much, but first round of the playoffs here, we're going up against the Oilers. William Nylander is actually back, so we'll have him back for the first game, which is awesome. I think the only person that's still injured is Klein, who was a third-line forward for us. After those trades, though, he's now a fourth-line forward, so it's not a huge deal. We'll see here how we do against Edmonton in the first round. First game, first period, Draisaitl scores on his old team. Eakin and McDavid each score, though. Here we have Sweat and Benson scoring, so it's now 3-2. And then McKay and Puljujarvi there. So each score a goal, so 5-2. And Benson actually is Oilers prospect in real life, so both guys are kind of formerly a part of that franchise scored. Unfortunately, we lost that game 5-2, which, I mean, I don't know. They're the 8th seed, obviously, and they beat us 5-2 at home in the first game. Maybe just a fluke. We got 6 games left here, but we'll see what happens. As you guys can see there, Klein is back, so I went best lines there, which means they just messed up the lines. If we get a win here, I'll leave it. If we lose, though, I'm going to switch them back the way I had, as they didn't have Voracek on the first line. They had him on the second. Kind of interesting. Galvin and Tulipov each score. They have John Gibson in net, I just realized as well. So Anaheim, for whatever reason, traded him, or he was a free agent one year, but I don't remember him being a free agent. So that's pretty significant. Nothing in the third there. Evander Kane with the OT winners. So that is not good. We're down 2-0 here. Former Stanley Cup champs, President's Trophy winners, down 2-0 to the Oilers. So hopefully our team can bounce back here. We definitely have the talent. I would hate to not only go out in the first round, but also to get swept. And that's what it's looking like. Sweat, Zablocki, McDavid. 3 goals in the first. McIntyre. Wow. So I don't know what's going on. I did say I was going to change the lines if we lost, so I'm going to go do that really quick, as we've scored 1 goal in the last 2 games with the lines that they had. So let me go fix those. I don't know why they are the way they were. I think I'm supposed to turn assistant coach off, but I like having it on during the season. It just makes it easier to click best lines. So I like the first line there being Voracek, Barzal, Nylander. Seabrook doesn't really score. I'll leave him on the third line. Second line of Galvin, Draisaitl, and Benson. Then we have Connor, Crosby, Seabrook, Poirier, Laflemme, Klein. So that looks a bit better. Hopefully we get something going here in the 4th game. I feel like we've probably already lost. I doubt we're going to come back. You never know. We could come back, but at the very least, I would like to win at least 1 game. If we get swept, like I was saying, that would just be that'd be tough to swallow. Not gonna lie, especially considering the fact we trade for Voracek, like a first-round pick there for rental player, hoping to win back-to-back cups, getting bounced in the first round. That'd be tough. So 4th period here, or 4th game. I can't even think now. Perro scores 1-0. Nothing in the second. 3rd period there. Benson and Olas keep us alive. Nugent Hopkins the goal, but not enough. So 3-1 win. We do not get swept. We now have to win the next 3 games straight. So maybe it's our lines, shaking the lines up, help the team. Let's see what happens here. I think the AHL team's also in their first round, going up against the Gulls there. And they're already up 1-0, which is good to see. So game 2 now. First period, Connor scores. Second period, Kane and Nugent Hopkins score. Draisaitl scores. So tie 2-2 going to the third. Laflemme there with the 3rd period game winner. He was the guy I was going to send down. Getting it done for us there in game 5. So that's awesome. We are staying alive here. Going to game 6, can we pull off the reverse sweep? That would be pretty amazing. Quickly here, just going to do a bit of scouting. I've already pretty much scouted everywhere for forwards, so I'm just going to do the junior leagues here in Canada for defensemen, about a month each. Really, there's not very many defensemen left for whatever reason when you scout. It's really weird. Like, the first 2 drafts, there's hundreds of players, and then it goes down to, like, 20 and 10 in terms of, like, forwards and defensemen, but that's it's a topic for a different day. So, game 6 here. Let's see what happens. First period, Kane and Connor score. Second period, Tulipov and Olas score. This is a big 3rd period again. Come on, let's go. And there we go, Galvin. He was the guy we traded for from, was it Winnipeg? I want to say it was Winnipeg there. Put him on the second line with Draisaitl and Benson. He's getting it done. Graham, unfortunately, is injured. We have to call up, I think, a defenseman. So I don't even know if we can do that. This might really, really hurt us. So let me just edit lines quickly and see what happens. As you guys can see right here, I'm trying to call up Sansficon or whatever his name is, 83 overall defenseman, who I normally don't call up because we're in the playoffs, there's no waivers, and then send down the 2 guys that are scratched. And even though it's clearly like more money going to more money going to AHL, it won't let me do it. So like I was saying, that trade for Voracek, it somehow messed up the salary cap. So I think we are just gonna have to play with a forward on defense, which sucks, but I guess we have to do that until he is back. So yeah, Poirier is playing right D. Hopefully he is not out for long. Alright guys, so after I did best lines there and put Poirier in as the defenseman, I then went to the forwards and I was trying to switch around some of the forwards, and I noticed like I clicked quick swap and it wasn't swapping people, it was just kind of like highlighting. So then I tried like messing with some of the buttons. I then clicked player info and this is all I got, and it's like frozen. So this sucks. I'm not sure if there was an autosave or not. There probably wasn't. And if that's the case, also we're dashboarding because like it's frozen. So I'm rattled. Like we were coming back in the other series, it was tied up 3-3. We had such a good year, both in the NHL and the AHL. And the fact that the game has to freeze like that, it's shitty. It's really shitty. So I'm hoping we have an autosave. I think sometimes it autosaves around the playoffs starting. I don't know though. There's a chance we have to redo the whole season. If that's the case, I will just I'll just sim the same way, and I will just do the same trades as best as I can remember. And like the sim we can't recreate, but like we can just make the same moves, not make any new moves, and see what happens that way. That's really the only option, as the game froze. So yeah, I definitely didn't mean to freeze it. It's way more work for me now to have to re-record everything. You guys will probably just see, I'm not going to make you watch it all again. I'll just sim back to the exact, hopefully if we make it to the playoffs, the first round there, show you the different standings, like how far we made it, but I won't make you like watch every month, whatever, over again. I'm pretty upset with that. Oh, wait, back up January 16. So it's not too bad. It definitely could have been worse if it was, oh wait, that's the day, that's today. I thought that was the day in the game. So yeah, I have to redo the entire season. So right now, guys, I'm at the trade deadline. I already did the Voracek deal for the exact same thing. I'm trying to redo the Galvin deal now. I know it was 2 seconds, Anisimov, Robinson, and another prospect. Anisimov because he was like, I just remember his name. Robinson, he's like the enforcer guy. And then the other prospect I feel like was Grumet Morris, who, if I remember right, was like 64 overall or something. And the Grumet Morris we currently have 77, and Winnipeg's not interested in him, but last time they were. So I don't know if that's him or not. I'm pretty sure that's him, but they're not interested in him anymore. So I'm going to try just getting them to Mayo, who we ended up trading for a 4th instead, seeing if this works. And it actually does go through. So slightly different, but hopefully that's okay with you guys. We aren't getting the 4th round pick from Pittsburgh. Alright guys, so I just finished the end of the regular season for the second time. We actually finished with a very similar record there, 54-20-8. AHL team 44-16-4. So the one change, of course, was the Winnipeg trade, I think, had one player different in it, and we did make the DeMayo trade with Pittsburgh for the 4th round pick, as we already traded DeMayo. Another thing I did do differently was I actually turned off injuries. Reason being, as we didn't really have any drastic injuries last season, so I didn't really think it was too big of a deal. Also, when you're simming with injuries on, you have to spend a lot more time calling up AHL players to fill injuries, then sending them down and making sure it's like the right ones. Otherwise, you might get players caught through waivers. So I turned injuries off so I didn't have to deal with that headache, as I honestly might have went insane having to like re-simulate the whole thing and worrying about that the whole time. This just made it a lot more simple for me, and it actually turned out to be a very similar simulation, which is what I was hoping for more than anything. As you guys can see there, we did win the Pacific Division again, this time by 3 points, just narrowly beating Canucks there. Last time we won it by 6. Nylander's also our leading scorer there, opposed to Voracek, so there are some differences. Hopefully we still win the President's Trophy. New Jersey, they're tied with us with the exact same win percentage, but they have more regulation plus overtime wins. So that kind of sucks. We definitely just got robbed of the President's Trophy. But, I mean, I can live with it. AHL team there, 92 points, so they should win it. Again, last time I think they had slightly worse win percentage, but a few games left, so they could have won it. So I'm kind of mad we didn't get the President's Trophy there, but I mean, it could have been worse. We could have like missed the playoffs or something. It was still a very, very similar simulation. Nylander there, 73 points. Voracek 63. So Nylander had a much better year. I think maybe it was because, honestly, I don't know. He had a better year this year. Crosby's still an 85. I think this time last time he was an 84, or he might have been an 85, and then once we started the playoffs he was an 84. But overall, the points look to be pretty similar. Take a look at Corby Salo here. He had a very good stats again. Saros is actually a lot worse for whatever reason. Maybe because of no injuries, they didn't play him as much. I'm not exactly sure. AHL goalies here look pretty similar. Cahill actually has the worst stats though this time. So I'll probably keep Hallinan as the starter. AHL players there, kind of what you expect. Postolopoulos here though, he's in 83 again, and again like last year, I can't call him up because the cap thing still happened. I could have probably called him up beforehand to fix that, but I thought that might be cheating. So I think we are now pretty much exactly where we were before. I think we're playing LA though in the first round, it looks like, if I'm right there, and not the Oilers, but basically the best we can do. Of course, I turn injuries back on. We already get an injury, so never mind. We actually are playing the Oilers again. That's perfect. That worked out really well. It's kind of cool that the simulation was so similar in 2 years. I didn't want to see like a drastic difference. That would have kind of not been good. So we're gonna continue here. Hopefully, we fail to get the 29 home wins again. That's funny. So anyways, like I was saying, hopefully we can win this series. Last time we were down 3, we pushed it to Game 7. So I mean, last time it was coming down to 1 game, and this time we're redoing the series. I hope no one's too upset with anything that happened. I think it kind of turned out for the best considering the situation. I really should save. I'm going to save after this game because I did not save again. First period here, we're down to 1-3-2. I'm just going to kind of sim this quick. Huge third period there, though, so 6-4 win. I really want to go save now. That's something I should have done. So I'm going to go do that quick and then keep simming round 1. Alright guys, so I just saved, and also I don't think I've shown you the lines yet to kind of show you that they are the exact same. So Voracek there on the first line with Barzal and Nylander. Galvin there from Winnipeg with Draisaitl and Benson. Like I said, I didn't show you the Voracek trade, but it was the exact same thing. The first round pick and then that AHL defenseman on a one-way deal. And then the Winnipeg trade was one player different, but we still lost DeMeo, so we still don't have him. So I think everyone should be okay, even like the most I don't know, nitpicky people. So the difference, of course, the playoff simulation. There's no way for me to purposely lose the first 3 games without completely like ruining my team's morale and everything. So I'm not going to do that. We're just going to resim it and just kind of see what happens. So 6-4 win to start us off obviously is a lot different. Injuries are on now though. You guys know that. So second game here, 1-1 Crosby and Larson. Nothing in the second period. Nothing in the third. Nugent Hopkins there with the OT winner. So we're tied up 1-1 again. I have a feeling this series is going to be very close again, even though we do seem to be the much better team. For whatever reason, the simulation is just saying we're going to have a tough time here with Edmonton in round 1. I'm going to go scout some Q defensemen. I think after that I'll have like almost every country scouted for forwards at like 3+ weeks, at least ones with like 10+ forwards. And then I have all the Canadian Junior Leagues scouted for defensemen, I think, at 3 weeks. So it's probably just going to be like random countries I'll scout for a little bit for the last couple months of scouting. Seabrook and Olas there start us off scoring the first period. Big second period there. They get 3, but we get 2 from Voracek and Poirier, so up 4-3. Fabry and Connor, not enough from them. So big 5-4 win here, up 2-1 in the series. Obviously, it's kind of good that we never sim that Game 7, as we'll never know kind of who won this playoff round, as that would kind of suck to know like what happened, and then if it went, even if we won and lost this time, or if we lost last time, won this time, it would feel just wrong either way. So I'm kind of glad we never did sim that Game 7. Right here, we get 2 goals there. Galvin, the guy we traded for, actually got the game winner. I'm simming this round a little bit quicker, as like we've already done it, so I feel like I'm kind of like wasting my time almost, but I think to actually sim through that whole thing with injuries off was so much quicker. Also, of course, I wasn't kind of like reviewing every month to decide what to do, but so much quicker with injuries off. So if you guys do a GM simulation and you aren't too worried about realism, I think injuries off so much better, it's so much faster. But Game 5 here, we could win this and move on. Third period, and there we go, Vandenbush with the game winner. So that's awesome to see. Hopefully in that last sim, if we ever were to sim Game 7, we would have won it. I don't want to feel like I stole the playoff series or anything like that, which I don't think we did. I think we're going to complete the reverse sweep, which would have been even more epic. We would have been even on a bigger roll than we are now. So heading to Game 2 here, we're going up against the Vancouver Canucks, the third best team in the playoffs, I believe, or the third best team in the regular season they were. We were technically second, should have been first, but that's okay. So first game here, going up against the Vancouver Canucks. Nothing in the first period there. Benson and Connor score. Castle score for them. Third period, Benson gets another one. So big 3-1 win there. Of course, everyone was asking about Demko in the last one. Luckily, we were able to find a way by him, actually scoring 3 goals. So we can go up 2 games to none against them. That'd be huge. Both these teams have really good goalies. That's obviously a big part of being a good playoff team. Edmonton had Gibson, which is kind of insane. Vancouver has Demko. I think New Jersey had Martin Jones when we beat them last time. So you aren't going to go deep in the playoffs, I don't think, with a goalie that's less than 87 overall. Like an 86, maybe you can get it done. I think you want 87 plus for sure. 90 plus if you really want a good chance of winning the cup. So Seabrook here scores in the second. We're up 2-1. And then Voracek there kind of seals the deal with the third goal there. So back-to-back 3-1 wins. Back-to-back home games. That's awesome to see. Maybe we can sweep the Canucks here. That'd be kind of crazy. They were neck and neck with us all regular season long. A sweep here in the second round of the playoffs would be like a statement to all the other playoff teams. Let them know, we're the best team, I guess, in the league. So LaFlemme and Crosby there. Logan Brown scores for them. Somehow they got him from Ottawa, or maybe free agent signing, I'm not sure. Barzal and Crosby score there. Gudbranson scores for them up 4-2. And then Horvat and Draisaitl. So 5-3 win. This is awesome to see. Our team is just absolutely on a roll right now. Hopefully we can pull off the sweep here. Obviously it's not crucial, but it would be good. Definitely just want to see one W within these next 4 games. Move on to the conference finals for back-to-back years. So first period here, Draisaitl, Virtanen. Second period, Barzal. Third period there, Nylander and Draisaitl. Our team just swept the Canucks, who last sim was the second best team, and this sim was the third best. So, they're one of the best teams in this league. Again, though, Vandenbush is injured, so I think we have to call up defenseman again. So I'm just going to click best lines. I'm not even going to go into the lines, as I don't want to risk glitching it somehow. But the forward lines I had were the ones that were working. So hopefully Vandenbush is back by the time the third round starts. I thought I scouted these forwards. OHL, I either forgot to scout defenseman or forward, so probably just going to scout both now. Vandenbush is back, so there we go. Don't have to worry about Poirier playing on D this time. I will, though, edit the lines manually before the next round starts to make sure they're how they were before, as we swept the Canucks with them. Why switch them? Also, I just noticed the AHL team's 7-3, so they won their first round there in 4 games. Their second round, they went to game 6, and they won it. And they're now playing the Chicago Wolves in their conference finals. So this is going to be really good. Like I was saying, I'm going to quickly go edit the lines to where they were before and start the conference final sim here against the St. Louis Blues. So conference finals here, guys, against the St. Louis Blues. Let's see if we can keep rolling here. I think we've won the last 7 games straight. I think Edmonton beat us in game 2, so let's see if we can keep it going here. Vandenbush there, back from injury, scores in the first period. LaFlemme and Barzal there, and then Olas in the third. So we are killing it. That's 8 straight wins in the playoffs. I think that's more impressive than Columbus's 15-game win streak in the regular season. Let's see if we can keep it going, though. If we win the next 3 straight, that would be insane. Back-to-back sweeps heading to the Stanley Cup Final. Maybe a rematch between the New Jersey Devils, as they did win the President's Trophy. I think they stole it from us, I should say. So first period, game 2. A lot of scoring there. Draisaitl scores 2 for us. They get Barchi, Dinger, and Schwartz goals. Second period there, Strack. I think I had a stroke there. Strack and Barbashev score, and then Voracek for us. So 5-3 loss. That's all right, though. Still, series is tied up 1-1. Heading to St. Louis now. If we can at least get 1 win in St. Louis here, make it a 2-2 series, and maybe win a couple back-to-back there. Win in 6. I wouldn't mind that. So game 3, let's see if we can bounce back from that last loss. Voracek and Connor each score. Tarasenko scores for them. It's a 2-1 lead for us. Barzal gets 1, and then Graham there with another in the third. So a big 4-1 win. Seems like when we win big. I like that from us. Won the first game there 4-0. So game 4 now. This is actually huge. If we win this, can go back to Vegas for the game 5 conference final decision game. Here we go. First period, Galvin scores. That was our trade pickup from Winnipeg. Second period there, Graham and Hudon score. Third period, Barbashev forces it to OT. And then Schwartz with the OT winner. I thought we were winning that one. I'm not going to lie. Maybe you could tell in my voice. I thought we were going to pull it out, but that's okay. Voracek's hurt till May 22nd. It's May 16th, so he's actually only out for 6 days. I'm just going to edit lines manually here. I don't want the assistant coach messing with them, so I have to sub in Salio here. I guess all lines for now. It's an 8-day thing. It's 2 games. We'll move Benson to the first line, Connor to the second, Klein to the third. The power play and stuff, hopefully, honestly, I can't be bothered. It's tied 2-2. He'll be back, I think by, what was it, May 24th? We'll see what happens here, I guess, in Game 5. So, first period, Crosby scores. Second period, Laflemme scores. Third period, Nylander luckily gets that goal. Was that 1 second left in the third to win it, or 1 second into the third? I think it was 1 second into... Okay, there's no way he could have scored 1 second into the third. So 1 second left in the third, he scored there to win the game. That seems really clutch. Or was the other way around, in which case that's impossible. Voracek's back, so I'm just going to go best lines and then switch them, just so all the special teams are best lines. I'll go make sure he's on the first line again, and we'll sim Game 6 and see if we can win the Western Conference Final here. So Game 6 here, guys. Huge game. Let's see if we can win it in St. Louis. First period, no goals. Second period, Hudon scores. Big third period coming up. Graham scores 2. Schwartz scores 1. We're going to OT here. Let's go. Nothing in the first OT. Olas there with the OT winner, our captain, coming in clutch. I love seeing that. So we're now going to the Stanley Cup Final for back-to-back years. I think the addition of Voracek at the deadline, along with the, I don't remember his name. This is actually bad. The guy from Winnipeg, he's probably going to be upset. He's been a beast on the second line. Going up against the Boston Bruins here in the Stanley Cup Final. This is going to be really good, I think. Is our AHL team still in it? They have 10 wins. Let's see. Chicago Wolves, 2 wins. Oh, no, they actually lost in 7 games in OT in Chicago. That's a tough way to go out, but still looks like it was a very good series. They almost made it back to the Calder Cup Final. That's still a very good season for them, and they probably won the President's Trophy version of the AHL. If not, they were close. But Stanley Cup Final now against the Boston Bruins. I'm excited for this. Pretty similar color schemes, actually, in terms of our teams. They're black and gold. We're like gray and gold. So first period, first game, nothing. Second period, Poirier scores for us, Krug for them. They have Carlson in net. I'm not sure who that is. Maybe it's a made-up goalie. And then Kemp and Maltby score for them. Benson scores for us. They get the 3-2 win there in Game 1. So dropping Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final is never ideal, but I think we can bounce back here. I would love back-to-back Stanley Cups. We already have back-to-back Western Conference Finals. I'm just checking here what I should scout. 8 guys or 8 defensemen in the U.S. It's either that or the SHL. Maybe I'll just do both if we have time. Yeah, 2 weeks of each, I think, is what I'll do there for the rest of the scouting. I really try to get the major leagues. I don't touch like the Dell or anything usually, and I usually don't touch goalies either, as there's only like a couple. I don't really feel like it's worth the time. But anyways, Game 2 here, Stanley Cup Finals, what we should be focusing on. First period, Seabrook scores. Second period, Ruzicka and Maltby for them. Third period here, Beach scores. Probably an empty netter by the looks of it. So down 2-0 in the Stanley Cup Finals, not where you want to be, but I mean, they won both their games away. Maybe we can win our next 2 away games, tie this series up 2 games apiece. Going to Boston now. Hopefully we can bounce back here. First period, Nylander scores, Ruzicka scores for them. Second period, Crosby scores, and third period there, Klein and Poirier. So a big bounce back game for us, pulling within 1 game here in the series. We'd love to win this next game, like I was saying, tie it up 2 apiece. That would just be great. Let's see what happens here. 4-1 win last time. Can we keep it going? First period. Wow. Gregor, or I don't think it's Gregor, and Pasternak score for them. Nylander, Klein, and Galvin score for us. Galvin was the guy's name I was thinking of. We got from Winnipeg. Second period now. Poulin ties it up. Third period. Wow. They get another goal from Gregor, and then a goal from Poulin again. So I think they have a lot of like fake players on their team, as I've never heard of these guys. But they're up now 3-1 in this series, 3 games left. We have to win the next 3 games. We potentially did this against Edmonton. We'll never know if we won that Game 7 or not, but I think we maybe pull it off here against Boston. I think our team has it in them. So Game 5 in Las Vegas. Let's go. First period. Down 2-1. Olas scores for us. Gregor and Krug for them. Maltby there. This is down 2 goals in the third period of Game 5. Come on. Nylander and Vandenbush score, but Miller there for them. We lose 4-3. Losing the Stanley Cup Final in Game 5. So that sucks. I was really hoping to win the Stanley Cup Final back-to-back years, but, I mean, making it there, I think, is still pretty successful. And you never know. Maybe that first sim that got glitched, maybe we would have won that one coming off a reverse sweep from the Oilers, but can't worry about that. We got to worry about this sim, which was, I would say, 95% similar. So I'm pretty happy with it. As you guys can see here, we actually have to re-sign another offer. Not even going to waste my time looking at the other ones. I'm obviously sticking with Vegas, the team I've been building. So I'm pretty happy with that year. I'm not going to lie. We don't have a first or a second. A good chance Voracek, who we traded a first-round pick for, might retire, but that's okay. Also, Chicago Wolves there won the Calder Cup, which means the AHL team won the eventual champ. So both of our teams lost to the champs, which makes it feel a little bit better. You know, losing to like the best team essentially makes you feel like you're the second best team. Who else did I had to scout here? I had to scout these U.S. defensemen. Hopefully we can have a good draft. Our highest pick obviously is a third. Our lowest is a sixth. I think we have 2/3, 3/4, 2 or 3/5, and a couple sixths. So we'll see what happens. I just noticed if Detroit's in the draft lottery, they must not have had a good year this year, which kind of sucks. Last year they had a great year, and the other sim. I'm going to keep talking about the old sim now. We have to pretend like it never happened, though. So we'll move on to the draft lottery after taking a look here at the retired players as well. So Crosby finally retires. 1,444 games played, 1,579 points. I wonder where that would put him. Let me just Google this really quick in the all-time point getters. I'm really curious. Hopefully, I'm sure you guys could hear my keyboard. So he's actually not that high. 1,579 points puts him 13th behind Mark Recchi. So I think Crosby's going to do better in real life than he did in this game. I definitely think he'll eventually get into that top 10, probably around Sakic, Lemieux, especially, depending how long he can play. That's pretty cool, though. We'll see what other players retired in the entire league. Actually, I just realized Voracek didn't retire, so that'll be interesting if we can re-sign him or not. Kopitar retires, that's a big name. Phil Kessel, Paul Stastny, Erik Karlsson, wow, huge names retiring. James Neal, Jordan Eberle, World Junior Star, Drew Doughty, only 874 points, but, the two arguably best defensemen in the league right now, those two in Burns, Crosby, Kopitar, Kessel, like that's insane. Stahl, Pacioretty, Bodker, Nyquist there, Ennis, Atkinson, just been a beast this year. Zuccarello, Raquel, some crazy names, Jack Johnson. Take a look here and see if any goalies retired. If they are retiring, they're going to be big names. Like Carey Price is probably close to retiring now. Tuukka Rask there, 38 years old. He grinded it out for a while. Pavelec, Markstrom, Nielsen, Johnson, Eddie Lack. So outside of Rask, really no one too important, but still pretty crazy. Kind of all the big names retiring. Like I was saying, we're going to move on to the draft now. Hopefully can find some late round steals. So here guys, we made an offer from Montreal offering me Dallas's 3rd round pick in 2025 for Chapman, who I'm pretty sure is a solid prospect. I'd rather not trade for a third. I'm going to check though, because I could be wrong. I can't even look at him, so let me try this. This game. Alright, so 22 years old, 73 overall. He's actually not that good. He's really not that good. Let's see here. 3 years left, 22 and 73. I could potentially get a better... We're going to take it. I think I could maybe get a better player with the 3rd round pick, and I don't mind having the extra roster spot. So I'm simming right now to our first pick, which is the 3rd round, and I'm of course going to take a look, kind of see like the top players that went. So round 1 here, we'll see if there's any franchise players. I think there's never a franchise player though in the automatic, like the made-up players. I think the highest is like a high elite, and that hardly ever happens. Majority of the time, it's just like 4 or 5 medium elites at the top of the draft, and then kind of slowly goes down from there. So Hendricks, medium elite. Campbell, medium elite. Same with Sasaki. Top 9, medium elite. Right there at 9, a butterfly goalie. That'll be good for Pittsburgh. A starter there. Oh, wow, low elite there. Pick number 22, a goalie. So that's a pretty good steal over there from Washington, but it looks like all the elite goalies. So we'll see what we can get here in the 3rd round. We did some pretty good scouting. Top 9 forward, I think, is the minimum we should be able to get. If we're lucky, we can get higher than that. So there is a Russian top 9 available. Let's look at this here. So this Canadian guy, we could probably go with our next 3rd round pick. Defenseman here is top 6. Exact, the top 9 there. I think I'm just going to go with him, as he looks like he's going to get picked before the Canadians. So I'm just going to kind of base it that way. Medium top 9, not too bad. Next pick here in the 3rd round is actually pick number 10. I thought we were going to have to wait longer than that. So we'll see if that Canadian's available. Hopefully he is. That's like been 7 picks. So we'll sort there. He is still there. Playmaking center. 3rd/4th. This actually might be one of the thirds we just traded for. Low top 6. That's actually very good for the 3rd round. I'm happy with that pick. We're not making pick number 29 in the 3rd round, which of course is our pick. Didn't even realize that 3rd round pick we traded for was this year. I thought 2025 was like a year or two from now. Just kind of crazy, I guess, how deep we are into this franchise mode. So bottom 6 forwards are left there in terms of that. But exact, there's a top 6D, 4th/5th, late 3rd. Am I picking him too early? Maybe, but I don't know where my 4th round pick is, and I'd rather not risk losing him, especially... A top 6D, high league interest. I'm just going to make the safe pick, I think. Medium top 6, I'm happy with that. We actually have pick number 2 in the 4th round. Of course we do, after I said that. I really wish, I don't think at least, I'm going to check after if it shows like where your picks are. I know it used to, but I feel like it doesn't anymore. There's another top 6 here, 5th/6th. I feel like we can kind of take a chance here at somebody else. This Bloomström guy from Sweden is a sniper, high bomb 6. I'm thinking him, or we could go the Canadian, but he's projected 5th, so, and this guy's 4/5th. So yeah, we'll go Swedish dude here and whatever his name is. Medium top 9, that's really good. And like I was saying, guys, I want to check this. This is something I probably should have checked months ago, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't say like what pick number your pick is, which kind of sucks. So let's see. Yeah, see, I have no idea like what pick numbers these 2 picks are. Something they definitely need to add back in. I'm pretty sure that was in an old game. Maybe it was NHL 14 I'm thinking all the way back to, but that is something that's definitely helpful when you're making trades or just kind of knowing when you're going to pick next. So our next pick here is pick number 24 of round 4. A medium top 9 just got taken there from Calgary, so there's still some good players left. Like I was saying, you really don't need those first and second round picks unless you have like a top 10 pick and you have a chance of getting an elite player. After that, you can still get, like, if you're lucky, top 6 players in the third round, and then the 4th round you can easily get top 9 if you scout right. So I might start trading away those earlier picks more often if I know I'm going to be, in contention for the Stanley Cup and they're going to be late picks anyway. But right now we have a late 4th. That defenseman that was, oh no, it was this with the guy that I wanted. So I'm going to play it safe again. Take the top 6 defense. So I'm not going to let anyone else get him. Low top 6. Wish he was a bit better than that, but still it's a solid pick in the late 4th round. We actually have another pick here in the 4th round. Pick number 29. Medium top 9 just went though in Korob. I don't know how to say his name. I don't know why I'm trying. I don't think he's real. So anyways, I wish I kind of would have taken him instead. That's okay though. Pritchett here, 4/5th American. I'm going to go with him. Please be good. Medium top 9. There we go. Next pick here, pick number 2 in the 5th round. Like I was saying, I'm really happy with our draft so far. Considering no 1st or 2nd, I think it's went very, very well. Talbot there, I wouldn't mind taking a shot on. There's a couple exact bottom 6s. The Loom guy I wouldn't mind stealing in the 7th if we can get him for cheap. Then these 2 here are 5th/6th. This guy's 5th. So I think I'm going to go with Talbot. See how good he is. Low top 9. I don't mind that at all. Next 5th round pick here is number 29. Chances are a lot of those bottom 6 guys are probably gone. Wilfred's still there though, an exact. Yeah, so there's no more in the high. So there's still Wilfred and then this Loom dude. So I'm going to take Wilfred with this pick and probably Loom with our 6th round pick. He's a low bomb 6, which is okay. I think I only have one 6th round pick. Pick number 2. Do we actually have 2? Yeah, I traded the other one to Edmonton. So I'll probably just take the Loom guy here. Play it safe. Don't really want to trade more future picks here, as I don't really know what I'm going to get, as he's the only one we actually know what he is that's left. So take the finish center there in Loom. Medium bomb 6, not bad at all. 1st overall, actually. Or, sorry, I'm looking at Anaheim. I'm looking at Anaheim's guy, thinking we got Zhao. We actually got this guy, Loom. Low bomb 6. That's still okay, though, in the 6th round. So, like I was saying, really happy with that draft. Going to get to the re-sign phase now and hopefully be able to keep most of our, championship contending team. Also, guys, before I get to the re-sign phase, the first one to show you the awards from this year, as well as the playoff stats. That'd be cool to look at. So, I'll first take a look here at the NHL playoff stats and the AHL, and then we'll take a look at the awards. Nylander there actually led our team in playoff points too, just like the regular season, 17 points. Barzal had 15, now up to an 87 again. Benson had 15, Voracek 15, still an 88, which is good to see. And he still has exact top 6-4 potential, but he better not want a lot of. I'm not going to give him a lot of money, so like it's going to be interesting, kind of what he asked for. Draisaitl at 13, Graham at 13. This guy's at 87 now, just an absolute beast. Who I think we signed him as a free agent, just kind of came out of nowhere. Connor there actually a pretty good playoff. Olas, of course, 10. Poirier getting it done on the 4th line, 10 points. 83 now, though, and we're paying him, what, $3.5 million? Might be time to move on from Poirier, especially with all the AHL forward depth we have. Even though we did lose Crosby, we still need a center to kind of replace him now, so I'm going to have to get rid of him. The rest of the players there looked pretty good. We'll take a look here and see how Corpi Salo did in the playoffs. 2.14 against, that's really good. .927 save percentage. AHL here. Hallinan had 2.1 against, .925 save percentage, so he also had a very good AHL playoff record. I might be looking for a new AHL goalie, though. Isaac Benbridge here, 12 points, 17 games. Dykes, 11. Heward, 10. Connolly, 10. Where is Apostolopoulos? He only had 5 points. That's a bit disappointing, but what are you going to do? Also, I figured we could take a look at the playoff tree really quick. So, AHL playoff tree here. We know we lost to Chicago Wolves in the conference final, and 4-3, they beat Condors, Checkers, and the Phantoms. So, not too bad. Taking a look at the NHL now. Who did Boston beat? Boston beat Montreal 4-3, then Tampa 4-1. Then they beat New Jersey 4-3, who I thought we might have a rematch with. So that was a really close series, and then they beat us 4-1. So, looking at the games, New Jersey might have beat us, as you know they brought Boston to 7, only brought them to 5, but you never know. It's hard to say. I'm gonna take a look at the awards now here. So Stanley Cup, Boston Bruins, President's Trophy, New Jersey. Like I was saying, we absolutely got robbed. Should have had it 3 of 5 years there. We did get the Clarence S. Campbell though for the last 2 years in a row. Prince of Wales, Boston. Taking a look now at the player awards. Taylor Hall, the Art Ross. I like seeing that. And the Hart. Potvin with the James Norris. Tarasenko, Lady Bing. Pusher with the Calder. Carlson there with the Conn Smythe. I think that was Boston's goalie, so it must be some young goalie that the game made up. Vezina, Korpisalo, I did call that. And the William M. Jennings, he had to get that. He's actually got William M. Jennings back-to-back years now. Bill Masterson, Ristolainen. Eichel with the Selke. Hall with the Ted Lindsay, and then Jokela, I have no idea. I think it's probably Jokela with the Maurice Richard. We'll take a look now at the AHL. So Calder Cup, Chicago Wolves. We did win the equivalent of the President's Trophy there, regular season point champion. For the last 4 years in a row, actually, our AHL team has won it. I didn't realize we've won it 4 years in a row. AHL team just dominates. And we've also won the Western Conference 4 years in a row, which makes sense. And then our division 5 years in a row. Would hate to be in our division, just crushing it. Our AHL team just stacked with so many good prospects. Player awards here, we'll see if we won any. Probably not. Yeah, we didn't really have any standout players in the AHL, so that's not bad. Like I said, I'm really happy with this season. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with the contracts. We have $8.7 million now to spend from Crosby retiring. Interested to see what Voracek wants. Dumba also needs a new deal. Probably have to find at least a third-line center to replace Crosby. I think Barzal and Dreisaitl's the 1 and 2 is at least fine for now. I mean, it seemed to work out well last year, so let's take a look. All right, guys, so as you can see here, we actually have just under $23 million in cap space. Also, I was saying how we needed to sign a third-line center, but we already have one in Apostolopoulos, 83 overall, 21 years old. That's his role, and he's probably just going to get even better over the summer. So I think our centers are set. Laflemme there as the fourth-line center should be fine. That's where he played this year. Draisaitl, though, needs a new deal. If you guys remember, we actually signed him to like an 8-year deal 8 seasons ago. It's kind of crazy just to think how long that's been. I'm going to see how cheap I can get him for. On another 8-year deal, paying him till he's 37, he'll take 4.6. That's a lot, though. I'd rather go till he's like 35 at the most. He wants $5 million, so we can get him for around what we were paying him before. I think it was about 4.75, 6 years. I like that deal. Everyone else there is locked up. Grumet Morris, $24.79. He's a solid AHL center. Help out with the AHL team. Try and, keep that streak alive. $21.71. That's not terrible for Tarnasky there. The rest of those guys are not good enough. Left wingers here. Salio needs a new deal. $23.81. He better not want a lot. $1 million for 1 year. This is tough because it's going to count against the cap, or even if he's in the AHL. So let's see if he wants a 1-year deal. Let's see if we can get him for $850K at 1 year, in which case it's not too big of a deal. That's a one-way. Likens here's 20 years old, 77 overall. He's ready for the AHL. I'll give him an offer. I'm guessing he was a draft pick. Yeah, last year's 6th round pick. This guy, what a great 6th round pick. 78 overall already. This guy's 20 and 70 overall, medium top 6. Definitely gonna have to sign him. Pushkarev. Was he? I thought maybe he was the guy that we actually traded for the Winnipeg trade. I can't remember though. 21.67. I've no idea who he is, but he is getting released. And I think that is it for left wing. No one else is worth signing yet. Right wingers here. Seabrook's an 88 now, even though he does nothing. Voracek. Let's see. He wants $8.5 million for 1 year. It's extremely steep. He's most likely retiring. So 88 overall, exact top 6. I'd give him 7. I'd give him $7 million. If he says no, I'm not giving him any more. Galvin there is locked up for 2 more years at $965K, which is huge. Malikov here, $24.79. No interest in a 2-way deal. I'm not keeping you because you're not even an 80s. So I think I'll qualify him. Most likely no one will give him an offer, in which case we'll get him on a 2-way deal. Connolly there's 23.78. We can probably keep him for the AHL. This guy's 24.78. Kind of done. I'm gonna let him go. Clear up some roster space, as we are gonna be, of course, signing some players from that we drafted within the last couple years that are finally good enough. This guy's 22.75. This guy's 21.74. That's tough if they're worth signing. I think 21.74 is, and 22.75. I think he's probably worth signing too. It seems like they want a lot though for mid-70s. But that's okay. Defense here. Dumba needs a new deal. He's going to get paid for sure. Look at our top 6. It's just so stacked. I didn't realize, though, Vandenbush and Peros need new deals, and this Sansfacon guy. Priority, though, is Dumba, trying to get back to the Stanley Cup Final 3 years in a row. 7.6 for 3 years. Let's see. Where is he cheapest? 8 years, which we're not going to do. Let's see. 5 years, so he's 35. Makes him $100K cheaper. It's really not even worth it, and then giving him the extra 2 years. Let's see if he'll sign for $7 million. Let's even try like 6.9 at 3 years. I think he'll say yes to that. Vandenbush here, 24 years old, 85 overall. He wants a big raise. Can we afford it? I have no idea, but it's worth trying. We'll give him $4 million here for 2 years. Next here we have Peros, 25 years old, 84 overall. He wants 5.6. He wants more than Vandenbush, who's an overall higher and a year younger. So I don't get that. Probably just gonna qualify him for now, and then see like how much money we have after we sign Dumba, potentially Voracek, all the other guys. Samphason here, he's been in the AHL the last 2 or 3 years. Let's see. He wants just under $4 million, 26 years old, 83 overall, but he's got that AHL potential still, which worries me. I'm going to give him a qualifying offer too and see if we have the money or not. Hamuse might end up being our 6th defense, which honestly isn't the end of the world. Chubasov, hopefully we can get for cheap, 2.2, so he's another guy. I'm just qualifying him. All these like AHL defensemen we had on rookie deals, and they all want to get paid, and we just cannot afford them. Like, we don't have the cap space. And none of those guys are worth signing, nor are any of them UFAs. Saros here needs another new deal. Really solid backup for us. 2 years, 1.8. Let's try 2 years, 1.75. Seems fair. Hallinan, I think I'm going to move on from. Try and find a new AHL starter. It's risky, but let's hope we can get one. If we can't, Catthill's decent. McPherson there. Festerling is not good. I think we drafted him late one time. He's not even worth giving a contract to. So we'll see how much money we have after all those guys sign and which defenseman we can keep. As you guys can see here, Grumay Morris accepted our offer. Same with Abney. Draisaitl did too, so we have him for pretty much his whole career. Dumba accepted our offer. That's awesome. Vandenbush, the 85 there, $4 million 2 years. Voracek rejected. Doesn't think it's worth it. Going to be a tough decision if I should sign him or not. I feel like we could get a similar player for a bit cheaper, who's also maybe younger. Roster's full, so we can't sign Tarnasky. That sucks. Saros accepted. Richmond, roster's full, can't sign. Saleo accepted. Connolly accepted. Likens, Pushkarev. So 2 guys couldn't sign because our roster is full. I didn't realize we like signed so many draft picks. So that means 44 or 50 contracts. It must have to do with the guys we have qualifying offers on. Which I didn't think was that many. Let me see here, though. Just going to go through. So there should be 2 UFAs, or 2 young UFAs there in Richmond and Tarnasky. Neither of them are really that great, like 21.72 low bomb 6, 21.74 medium bomb 6. Not the end of the world if we don't get them. So we have $8.5 million in cap space. We need to sign these 4 players here. So Malakov's 24.79. He's got 2 years left to grow. I think I'm just going to let him go. Or I already gave him a qualifying offer. Crap. I was going to say we could get like just other AHL forwards playing. And then these 3 defensemen here all have qualifying offers on them. Voracek, 35 years old. Him being 35 just scares me. I don't want to give him that money. If I release him... Okay, there we go. That makes it go to 43. But honestly, I don't know if these 2 are worth signing. I think I'm going to let them both go. I think we have better prospects, or at least can sign better ones in free agency. Most likely there'll be a couple better forwards available. So these 4 here, we have $8.5 million, but we have qualifying offers on them. I mean, there's a good chance they all get paid, but if that happens, at least we get something for them. Also, I want to basically kind of wait and see what's available in free agency, as we have a really good defense. Like, even if we don't sign any of those 3 that are on qualifying offers there's our top 5, still secure, and then our 6th guy is Hamuse. So 84, 83, 82. It's not the end of the world, especially the Chubasov guy. We already have an 82, so I wouldn't mind getting like some picks for them. Right wing here is set for sure, the top 4. Left wing, we could use a left winger. And then centers there. I think our centers are set. So really we're looking at a left wing. How much is that going to cost? And how much extra we have to maybe keep one of those defensemen. And as you guys can see here, that Malikov guy accepted our offer. He was the 24-year-old, 79 overall guy. I was thinking about maybe not even giving an offer to. But he'll just make our AHL team better. Hopefully we still have enough roster spots. So we're now at free agency. Really interested to see kind of like what's available here. We got $8.5 million to spend. We actually have money to spend for the first time in a while. Voracek there, of course, 35. Wants $10 million in free agency. That's crazy. So he's getting us $2 million off. Brain Shen wants 7.2. He was a guy we could have traded for with the Flyers, but obviously I decided to go with Voracek, the scorer, who actually had less value. Duchesne's also available. He'd be really interesting. He'd be our first-line center. I almost consider that. Sadikov here. This guy's 26, 87 overall. Looks very solid. Of course, our defense is set. Don't need Krug, don't need Trouba. Fabry's the left winger we could use. 5.7 though for an 85 overall is a huge overpayment, and there's 2 teams interested, which is kind of crazy. So really the best value here is probably Brain Shen or Duchesne. And Duchesne only wants 2 years, whereas Brain Shen wants 5, paying until he's 38. I wouldn't mind Duchesne maybe on like a 1-year deal, leaving that one center who's only like an 81 in the AHL to kind of grow a bit longer. Of course, only have $8.5 million, so if we can even afford Duchesne's, probably the other question. So let's go look here at 2-way guys, see if there's any really high potential ones available. 20 years old, 71 overall, low top 6. Sounds like a definite dude who needs a deal. 20-year-old, 74 overall, he also needs a deal. I'm not even sure if I can sign all these guys. Let's see here, 21, 74, medium top 9. Like I was saying, those 2 guys we let go, it definitely makes sense we let them go because these guys are all better. We'll make him an offer there. Same with the 20-year-old, 73. We'll give him like $900K, and we'll give the I don't even know. There's so many here that are available. They're all pretty good. Actually, those guys are getting really old. Actually, there's a ton here. Medium top 9. So let's go. 20 is the youngest, so we'll give him an offer of like $850K. Same with the Morrow guy. I don't even think we can keep all these guys. Let's see, how many is that? 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'll have to take a look at how many open roster spots we have. Might have to just trade some of those defensemen right now to clear up those spots. Goalies, though, we do have at least 1 spot, maybe 2. Abdelkader, 25-year-old, 87 overall goalie with medium star potential. Would love for him to be the AHL starter. He probably wants a 1-way deal. I don't really mind that, though. Let's see. But he might not take it. Let's see. 2-way. Wow, those 74s want 2 ways. So 77s want 1 ways. I need an AHL starter, though. 24, 79 overall. Trotter. Low starter. He'd be a sick AHL starter. So let's give him an offer. I'm kind of paying him a lot to be an AHL starter, but that's okay. San Jose has to match, so that might not go through. 25, 81, 25. This guy wants 900K. Low starter. Well, actually, let's just see if we can get him for 900K. If not, we'll give an offer to the other guy. Probably not, but if no one else gives him a deal, maybe. So I think we have to trade away a few players here, and then go from there. So right here, guys, we're trying to trade a few players for Anaheim's second-round pick. These players actually have a decent amount of value. That's how good our prospect pool has become. So Leo here, 81 overall left-wing sniper. Germain Morris is a 79, and he has a lot more potential, and I feel like he's going to jump him over the summer, so I'm kind of betting on that, trading Saleo away right now. Malikov, like I was saying, I was actually going to let go, but I already gave a qualifying offer to. 24, 79. We have guys that are like 20 to 23 that are 75 to 78. I'd rather they play in the AHL. Emerton here, 75 overall, is not even good enough to crack our AHL top 6. 22 years old. He's not that bad, but we get a second-round pick for these 3 players. Opens up a bunch of spots. I am fine with it. And Anaheim says yes, so we just get a free pick there, open up roster spots. Kind of what we've been doing this entire franchise mode. So I think that's enough spots there that we were good in terms of all those offers we made on the 2-way guys. We made a ton, though, so you never know. Also, I'm going to try and make an offer here on Duchesne. And if we miss it on Duchesne, then I think I'm going to make an offer on Braden Shen for a 1-year deal. And if I miss on both of them, I think I'm not going to bother trying to sign any other player. Looking at Duchesne here, guys, he wants $9 million for 2 years, and LA and Pittsburgh are both interested. We can only afford 8.44 for 2 years. That'd be all of our money. Also, like, we already have Barnes was an 87, and he's 34, and I feel like Brain Shen's probably the better deal. He's cheaper, and he gives us a winger, which we need a bit more. So I'm going to give Shen an offer here. I don't really want to give him the 5 years, though. Paying him until he's 38, that seems ridiculous. Actually, yeah, just so ridiculous. And it looks like he gets really expensive there at 2 years. 1 year, 11.5. 2 years, 8.9 until he's 35. So let's try, like, 3 years at $7 million. That's a bad offer. I don't like doing that. I'm not going to do that deal. I feel like that would just hurt us more than help us, and I'd rather just have that cap space. Maybe somebody better available next year. We can get somebody in a trade. I don't like overpaying for either of these guys. I'm not going to lie. As you guys can see here, that Abdelkader guy accepted. 77 overall goalie. He'll be our new AHL starter. This guy rejected, decided to go San Jose, which is good because otherwise we would have had 2 AHL goalies, both on one-way deals. So we would have been like paying them their NHL salary playing in the AHL. This guy rejected. No room on the roster. 79 overall or 74 overall grinder. Severson though accepted, top 6 potential. This guy declined, no room on the roster. Lettinen accepted. Same with Kabashi, Rensfold. So a couple guys rejected. I think I gotta go trade a couple of our defensemen there on RFA. They're still pending RFAs to make room for those guys we want to sign. So I was looking at it by overall, and there's actually this Nabokov guy here, 21 years old, 78 overall already. Even though he has 73 potential, the fact that he's already a 78 means he's going to be an AHL beast at the very least, and he could probably even like fill in the NHL. Right here is this Delmore guy, 22, 77, top 9 forward potential. Going to give him an offer. Same with this Lakucher guy. So I'm actually finding guys I didn't even notice before. How like 22 years old, 77 overall. That's why like guys that are 24 and 79 are just not worth keeping anymore. And there's crazy players like that available. I'm going to sort by potential now, though. Make sure I don't miss anybody. All those guys are 26. The Morrow guy, I think we gave an offer to, and he said no. He's a guy that I could sign. Same with the Biron guy, but like 1 year older, 77 overall. If we have the roster spots, I'll give those 2 an offer. Otherwise, probably just let them stay in free agency. Like I was saying, guys, I didn't really feel like overpaying for either Shen or Duchesne, so I started looking at the trading block to see what's available. Calgary has Carlson on the block. 35 years old, but he's still 89 overall. 1 year left. Not that much value. Imagine adding him. Our defense would be stacked. If we can't get him, though, for whatever reason, I could also try and get McDonough from the Rangers. Same overall, same potential, about the same value. 1 year older, pretty much the exact same salary. So I think because he's a year older, he's slightly riskier. But other than that, like, it'd be a pretty good add. Our defense would just be so stacked. And also, Ottawa here has Mike Hoffman on the block. Another 35-year-old player, but 87 overall, $8 million. If we can get him for like 50% retained, throw him in the lineup, like our team would be so good. I think we could probably get Hoffman at 50% and then one of the defensemen at 50% and still be far under the cap. So I'm going to try and do that. Probably going to go for Carlson first and see if we can make it happen. So here, guys, the offer I'm making Calgary to try and get John Carlson with 50% retained, which basically makes his value higher, even though it doesn't reflect it kind of in the trade value bar. Peros here was our 6th defenseman last year, 25 years old, 84 overall. Just want too much money, though, for me to keep him. Plus, he's 25, so not really much growing left. Sanfason's been in the AHL the last few years. Again, wants too much money for me to keep him. I was going to basically get whatever I could get for picks from them. Both would have turned into, like, I think, maybe Sanfason a 3rd and Peros maybe a 2nd. Adding McAmmond here, an okay prospect. Looms, an okay prospect. You can see one was a 6th, the other was both 6th-round picks, though. With a 7th in next year's draft for Carlson, which, like I said, our defense would just be insane if we added him. So, see here what Calgary says. Trade accepted. That's huge. I know here, guys, the offer I'm making for Hoffman, again, on 50% retained. 35 years old, 87 overall. Even if he's like an 85 at the end of the year, for $4 million, it's still a good deal. Helps out our forwards. Chubasov was the 3rd defenseman I wasn't going to re-sign. Currently, obviously, have a qualifying offer out to him. Maybe we could have got a 3rd. Poirier is now an 83, making 3.5. I wouldn't actually mind getting rid of that salary. So, we're actually, I think, saving salary here. As Grimace Morris, I'm also adding the deal. 79 overall, 24 years old. I'd rather make room for younger guys. There's a bunch of like 22-year-old, 77, 78 overall centers I think have more potential, so could probably pass him if they got the ice time. And it also just gives us another roster spot, trading 2 for 1 here. Poirier and Grimace Morris. 2nd round pick in this year's draft isn't too big of a deal. We're still keeping our 1st. Kind of crazy we haven't given up our 1st yet to get these 2 players. And we have Anaheim's 2nd from those other 3 guys we gave away. Mickelson's is kind of like a extra little add-on. So we'll see here if Ottawa says yes. If not, I'm sure we can add on more. Here we go. Trade rejected. Not comfortable keeping salaries. So I think if we add on a better prospect than Mickelson, maybe even just remove Gremain Morris and just trade him for like a fourth or something in a separate deal, they'll say yes to this next offer. So like I was saying, guys, I moved Gremain Morris there and added a prospect, pretty good valued one in Pritchett, top 9 forward potential, a guy they're interested in. We drafted him in the 4th round. Like our late round picks is really just making trading so much easier. And then also Wilfred there's a guy they want. Not too much value, but still a guy they want. So we'll see if this is enough for them to say yes. And it is. So I think that's an awesome deal. We still have $5 million in cap space. We can use free agency wise, trade deadline wise. It's just awesome. So since I kind of stole Anaheim's 2nd round pick earlier, I'm basically giving them a deal here, giving them Gremain Morris for a 4th, even though I might be able to get a better player than Gremain Morris with their 4th. And they say yes. So we now have 4 roster spots open. I think we have 3 contract offers made. So hopefully we can sign everybody. We'll send it in the summer and just see kind of how good this team's going to be heading into next year. As you guys can see here, Lukacher accepted our offer. 77 overall, top 60 potential. I think he's like 22. It's awesome. Delmore, same 22-year-old, 77 overall, top 9 forward. Nabokov has 7th D potential, but I think he's like 20 years old and 77 overall already. So got all 3 of those guys, and I think that's everyone we made an offer on. So now all we have to do is send the end of the summer. Alright guys, so I'm now going to show you my lines going into next year, and honestly, they're pretty ridiculous. I think we definitely need to make a move of some sort. So as you can see here, first line we have Hoffman now in 86, but like I said, I'm fine with that. I kind of figured that might happen. Barzal and Nylander on the first line. Barzal again now in 87. Second line there we have Galvin, who I'm hoping can get higher than 85. Top 9 forward potential, 950K. I mean, that was a great trade for us. Draisaitl and Benson there. Connor, who if you didn't know, we're still paying like $1.2 million. Apostolopoulos there is now in 85. This dude was such a good 5th round pick, like one of the best 5th round picks I've ever made. And then playing with them there on the 3rd line, I have Seabrook. He doesn't score much, so even though he has elite potential, as a 2nd line role, I figured I'd rather have Galvin there, playing with Draisaitl and Benson. 4th line here we have Gremain Morris. Love his first name there in Bear. I think he was playing the AHL last year. He might not have been, actually. I think he just grew kind of around the draft and then in the summer, but 81 overall now. We actually drafted him 7th in 2022. It's starting to turn into a good player. But as you can see, he actually has a minor scoring forward role, so I wouldn't mind trying to get a better, like more fitted 4th line forward, send him down to the AHL. He'd probably grow better there. Starting the 4th line, we have Laflemme and then Klein. So I think that's a really solid forward group. Defense is just ridiculous. So we have Olas and Carlson top pair, CC Dumba 2nd pair, and then Graham and Vandenbush the 3rd pair. An 87 and an 85 on the 3rd pair. It's absolutely ridiculous. And then, of course, in goalie still, we have Korpisalo and Saros. That, starter backup combo we've had for the last 3 or 4 years. AHL team here is also pretty stacked. Blake should be on the first line there with Jensu and Bembridge. Delmore, Kurvinen, and Heward. Likens, Dykes, I think his name is, and Robichaud, and then Bird, Bailey, and Connolly. Like, the forward group there for the AHL is stacked. Defense, this CU guy, he's an enforcer defenseman, is now an 85. I wasn't expecting that. Last year, I think he was an 81, and then I think he might have ended up being like an 83. Now he's an 85. I didn't expect him to grow like that. I think I signed him as a free agent. Don't even know what to do with him. Like, I don't know what to do. I'm thinking maybe, like, trade, I forget his name, the guy we actually signed, Vandenbush. We just signed, like, one of our 4 defensemen we actually kept for $4 million. Trade him, and maybe package him with some stuff and bring in, like, a really good forward, as we have the salary cap space. We still have about $5 million cap space, which is kind of crazy. It's also crazy we, like, gave away 3 solid NHL defensemen, and our defense is as stacked as it's ever been. Also in the AHL with him, we have Hamhuis in 82, 79 there, Cassian's in 80, 78, 78, and then in goal starting, we have Abelkader, who has starter potential, so I think he could get better over the year, and then Cahill still as the backup. So both of these teams are stacked. Let me know what you think about maybe trading that Vandenbush guy, package him with some stuff, bring in a better forward. C would then jump to the NHL. I feel like him being an 85 in the AHL, it's a bit pushing it. Like, I don't mind 82s in the AHL, but an 85 is a bit much. AHL ratings here, 85 offense, 85 defense, 78 goaltending. NHL ratings, 95 offense, 96 defense, and 92 goaltending. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, leave a thumbs up. Let me know what you think about what the moves we should make. I'd love to hear from you guys. Besides that, thank you for watching. Have a nice day. Goodbye.